Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume and the reason becomes clear. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. His mission is to live, move, and be an active, excuse me, which is an acronym, authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. Rev, it's yours.
You sound like you're out of breath. Tracy, tired, Tracy running around. Good morning, greetings and blessings to all. So, as we learn from and as we practice from the spiritual practice for today, today's focus is staying mindful, staying focused, staying on purpose, staying in our own lane. However you want to phrase it, it's the idea of staying. Today, still continued pulled by the vision, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit, keeping our attention focused on our relationship with and as God throughout the day and throughout our lives transforms our experience. Our perspectives and perceptions of life are filtered through the lens, whatever that lens may be that we utilize. We are invited and calling ourselves to use the lens of truth, love, and oneness. This lens, this staying power, this awareness gives us the resilience and perseverance and wisdom to meet whatever may come our way, while also giving us the means to move whatever mountains may stand before us or appear to stand before us. In the Bible, Matthew 6, verse 21 through 24, for where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. Wherever your treasure is, your heart is there, and vice versa. Wherever your heart is, wherever you are anchored and grounded in love, that's how you know what it is you are treasuring. The eye of the lamp is the body. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. So your eye, your vision, your ability to see clearly. You know, that song, I can see clearly now, right? But also let us recognize when we are deeply steeped in lack, scarcity, fear. I can see cloudy now, for rain is all there is. I can see misery everywhere I go. Like, it works both ways. If the light within you is darkness, isn't that interesting? If the light within you is darkness,
That's deep.
How great is that darkness? No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to one and despise the other. So our invitation is to be mindful of how we are seeing, perceiving. What lens are we using to determine our insight and eyesight, our all sight? No one can serve two masters, right? As Shakespeare said in Hamlet, this above all to thine own self be true, and it must follow as night the day. You cannot be false to any person when you are clear about who you are, when you are clear about what you are and how you show up. Meaning, when someone sees you at work, they know who you are. Not, oh, well, you're in service. You're a great person. You're fun. You're friendly. You're so compassionate. But if they run into you in the supermarket or see you driving down the highway, you're someone who fusses and cusses. You're someone who is, quote unquote, steeped in the consciousness of anger and vengeance. And I know they didn't just cut me off, at which point we give them the magic sign, which I'm not going to do clearly, but we give them that because we are not being in integrity. We are not being the same person around people. We change. You know, you ever notice someone, we will say someone is two-faced. They will be someone who, as soon as they're out of your sight, they will stab you in the back. They will talk about you. They'll gossip about you. Rather than being present and mindful, being a whole person. What you see is what you get. We cannot serve two masters. We cannot be aligned with and as the very power and presence of God and be aligned with the very absence of that awareness as well. One of them is the primary focus. We cannot drive our car forward and backward at the same time. You have to pick one. There's the little thing that says it's in R, that means backwards. It's in D, that means forwards. There is no, oh, it's a B, that means both. Forward and back, no. So it works the same way with our consciousness. We cannot move forward and backward at the same time. We cannot be still and procrastinate and be proactive and act, right? You can't hold seeds in your hand and keep your hand closed and plant them at the same time. You either open and surrender and plant, or you keep closed and hold. One or the other. So vision, this idea of how we see insight, eyesight, all sight. Tracy probably loves this slide because as a photographer, she's like, I know what that means. So I want us to recognize that the higher the F, the focus of the opening, the more depth of vision we have, right? The higher the focus, the more we are focused on the isness and allness of God as the very essence of our being, the more depth of vision we have. Sometimes we have narrow sight because we don't have that focus. We only see what is right in front of us. And what is right in front of us is my bills are due and I don't have the money to pay them. What is right in front of us is, oh my goodness, I've been coughing and I don't have a sense of taste. Is that COVID? We only see what is right in front of us. But the moment we increase our focus and allow that which is truth to be the guiding force, then we see past what's immediately in front of our face. We see that, yes, it is a fact that bills are due and the amount of money in my bank account does not, however, move that out of the way. And what I see is an infinite source that is living, moving, and being itself, breathing itself as me, which means I have more wealth and abundance than I could ever count, quantify, or contain. And the moment I anchor into that, then infinite possibilities begin to unfold and infold for me. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye be single, your whole body shall be full of light. Single from Greek, that which means to unfold or that which is unbraided. In other words, that which is a single strand. The single strands points to the contrast, diplos, which is where we get the word duplicitous from. Double-minded, duplicity, deceptive. Remember that idea of being two separate people, being two-faced, being whatever that is, being inauthentic, deceptive. This concept of being double-minded. I am abundant, yet poor. I am healthy, yet sick. Being double-minded, double-focused, okay, so, back to the idea of driving forward and backward, double-directed. I'm trying to go forward and backward at the same time. I'm focusing on being healthy and sick at the same time, rich and poor at the same time, authentic and inauthentic at the same time, telling truth, yet believing the lie at the same time. This relates to the concept of integrity. When we bring ourselves back to wholeness and oneness, then we truly see clearly. We see the depth of infinite possibilities. Ernest Holmes said in the book, Change Your Thinking, there is a center in you, and it's not just in you, there is a center that is the essence of all that you are. And it already knows. Develop the consciousness that flows from this center. Develop the focus. When you develop the focus on this consciousness, using this consciousness, focusing on it, then the secret place of the Most High avails itself to us. It's what we see, it's what we recognize, it's what is living and moving and having its being as us. Where is our focus? Do we go through life in a manner that is distracted, that is not focused, that we are doing too many things, we are driving and texting and makeup and whatever else, and potato chips and whatever else, versus keeping our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel, as Jim Morrison said. We have a choice in how we drive through life. We have a choice in how we move through life. We can either keep our eyes on the road or not. But if we're going to keep our eyes on the road, then we recognize, keep our eyes, our focused vision, on the road, the life experience and the desired manifestation. Your hands upon the wheel. Hands are our focused action, and the wheel is living the practice. So if we are going to keep our focus, our vision, singular in focus on what we desire to be our life experience, and we focus our action in alignment with that, and we live the practice, then we cannot help but to drive to the location, to the destination, to the way of being, to the way of living that we desire and deserve. Ernest Holmes once again says, we are in the water of infinite life, just like the fish is in the ocean. The spirit of life is all around us. It flows through us. It permeates everything. That means it is us. It moves through us. It is with us. It is around us. It is all that we are. So not only are we, quote unquote, like the fish in the ocean, we're like a fish made of water in the ocean. Because there is no separation between what the fish is and what the ocean is. So imagine a fish not necessarily made of, quote unquote, flesh and blood, but made of the very substance of the ocean itself. Then that means the fish and the ocean are not separate, they are one. The ocean is individualizing itself as the fish. There's only the infinite oneness. But how often does the fish recognize this infinite oneness? When we focus the allness of spirit in the same way that we use a magnifying glass to focus into a laser-like laser beam, we are able to burn through the illusion of whatever is standing before us. Remember, once again, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye be single, be laser-like, be focused and sing, then your whole body shall be full of light. All that we live, move, and have our beingness will be that. Note that it's the same thing we do with the teaching symbol. We are focusing from the allness to its individualized particular expression. focusing the allness into a single point, a single focus called manifestation. But if we don't focus it and it's just whatever it is, then it's vague. We get mixed results. We have all of these other things that are going on and we're like, oh, blah, blah, haphazard, accidental. Oh, that was a chance occurrence. Oh, there's no such thing as synchronicity, blah, 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 blah. Because we're not using the very principle of spirit to manifest accordingly. But we get to choose. Joel Goldsmith says, regardless of the appearance of evil, regardless what it appears like, it lies within your power to realize that God has never given its power to anyone, to any group, to any condition. There is no power on earth but God. There is only that which God is. So whatever the appearance is, God must be present in, through, and as it in some way. So when we see something that is, quote unquote, evil, heinous, what is our invitation to shift that consciousness and say, I see darkness, let me bring light. I see injustice, then let me be the very catalyst to restore equity and justice to this situation. Call a thing for what it is, but also recognize that if we are metaphysicians, then we are called to step into the ER of life and restore health and wholeness to any patient that comes into the ER. And when we're out and about, the surgeon, the primary care physician brings their wealth of knowledge of medicine into the restaurant when they're there, into the corner bodega when they're there, into the DMV when they're there. And if someone falls out, boom, and there's an experience of illness, then the physician jumps into effect. How often do we as metaphysicians jump in and do what is ours to do? God is all there is. It is the only power there is. It is the only presence there is. And what it is, you are. You are the infinite spirit. You are the universe itself. Bringing our focus, staying our attention. I will keep my eyes stayed on truth. I woke up this morning with my eyes, my insight, my eyesight, my all sight on spirit, stayed on truth, stayed on love, and live, move, and have my beingness in accordance with that. Ernest Holmes said, you are as free as your thought. You are as free as your thinking allows you to be. Thoughts of lack or limitation clearly will bind you. Thoughts of what might happen fearfully, worry, anxiety, whatever thoughts cause that feeling to arise, clearly bind us. You are as free or as bound as your thought. You never deal with conditions, you deal with mind. So we don't focus on the condition as if the condition exists separate from mind. We focus on mind, recognizing that it is first cause while working on the condition. So in other words, you're sitting in your dining room and your dog begins to choke. What do? Oh, Scruffy, let me pray, knowing that there is one mind, there is only God. Or do you anchor to that truth while helping the dog, while helping the neighbor, while helping the friend, the family member? Do you know that as the surgeon in the ER, knowing the truth of health and well-being while operating? Or do you not operate? Forget the condition, I'm going to just pray. Well, then you're not a surgeon, right? So we address both and. Holmes is saying, don't focus on the condition as if the condition caused itself, as if the condition is the thing itself. Focus on the mind and do what we need to do accordingly. And yet, this is so difficult and so challenging, Tracy. Why? Because we do too much.
Well,
Our attention, how many of,
I'm not even raising my hand on this.
Tracy like, nope, because Tracy sees herself here. How many of us either are one of these people or we know someone who is? Tracy said, I'm all, you're funny. How many of us are overworking? How many of us are distracted? How many of us juggle too much? How many of us have hyper multitasking going on? How many of us have a need to do it all? We just can't say no. We say yes to everything. I need to do it all. It's mine to do, even though it's not.
I'll take that one away. I can say no.
Tracy says she can say no to some things. Saying yes to too much. How many of us do that? Because see, when we're doing that, it's very difficult to come back to that single focused point of truth. Because we're what is it called? I'm spreading myself too thin. Mm-hmm. That means my vision is scattered because there's so many post-its that I've got to do rather than focus on one post-it, remove it, next post-it, remove it. I see, there's so much, I can't do it. And then we shut down, we get stressed, we feel anxiety, we are overworked, we have taxed ourselves, and our body says, you're going to sleep later tonight. Mm-hmm. You're going to oversleep in the morning. I'm just fatigued. So we breathe, recognizing that we can remove items from our plate. We don't have to eat it all. Put some saran wrap over it and put it in the fridge and come back to it later. Put it in a to-go box and come back tomorrow. Don't try to engorge ourselves on work and overwork. Don't engorge ourselves on, there's so much that I have to. Because think about it. Do you want to go to the surgeon whose mind is on so many things? Who's in the process of picking up a scalpel while thinking of his or her to-do list of, when I'm done with this, what am I, I've got to pick up the kids and then I got to do the laundry and then I've got to, do you want that focus? Do you want that person operating on you? Do you want to be in the airplane with the pilot who is drinking, distracted while flying the plane that you are on? Do you want your children or do you want anyone's children on a school bus where the driver is texting or drinking or doing who knows what rather than being focused on the road and hands on the wheel? If we expect this from others, do we also work in a manner that we demonstrate that focus on ourselves as well? Do we live that focus as well? Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be one. Don't spend time focusing on what a guru should be, what a bodhisattva should be, what a practitioner should be, what a minister should be, what a politician should be, what a good mom should be, what a good dad should be. Don't focus on anything of what they should be one. Be a person who is authentic and lives, moves, and has their being in an authentic manner, walking the path of integrity, whole, perfect, and complete. Does that mean we are not occasionally going to stumble? No. Does it mean we won't occasionally fall? No. That will happen. However, when we know the practice, then we fall like a gymnast. We tumble, we roll, and we rise again. We get to choose this by how we practice, rather than talk about what someone or what we should be. Well, I should be better at meditating. I should be better at prayer. I should be better at reading. I should be better at... How about stop shoulding on ourselves and simply be? This moment doesn't have to be 10 minutes from now. This moment, this minute, right now, be it. Whatever it is, breathe into it. Stay centered just in this moment. And if this moment is too much, then just on this inhale, stay focused. Just on this exhale. That's it. one moment at a time, one breath at a time, one human interaction at a time, one experience at a time. That's the manner in which we create a world that works for all, because that's how we create a life that works for us. One focused moment at a time. Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith says, as long as you are on the planet, you are here to deliver your gifts, your talents, and your skills with confidence and inner authority, withholding nothing. Live all out. Don't hold back. But the only way we can do this, the only way we can give our gifts, talents, and skills, our time, talent, and treasure, our tithes, the only way we can give all out is to not be afraid of being rejected, not being afraid of being judged or criticized. Doesn't matter. When we are focused on this confidence and inner authority, then we are more courageous, more bold, more audacious to live from that space. In the same way that Bruce Lee had this thing called focus. In Japanese, it is called hime. It's a martial art term that means to have a single point of focus, also referred to as power. And in the noun form, kimeru means to decide, to choose. What do you choose? Upon what do you choose? Remember, the Bible passage previously said, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. What is the prize that you are seeking to manifest, demonstrate, attract? Because the successful warrior is the average person who has laser-like focus. The successful metaphysician is that person who has laser-like focus, the one who keeps your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes focused on, stay focused on what it is you desire to experience or manifest. Don't let distractions of life cause us to veer off the road. Stay in your lane. Move when you are called to move. Pray when you are called to pray. Stay centered, grounded, focused, and breathe. Laser-like focus.
All right.
Raymont Anderson said, the time for each of us, oh, that's me. The time for each of us to choose who we will be and how we will show up and live this life is now. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, not some by and by, pie in the sky time of when I retire, that's when I'll be able to finally be happy. When the kids is all gone and I got my gold watch from work, then I'll be happy. No. I'm not sure why Tracy's laughing at me. The time for each of us to choose who we will be, how we will show up, that time is now. There is no savior that is external to us. Each of us is it. You are your own savior. You are the driving force. You are the one who moves the aperture to determine how much light or how little light gets in, how much focus you get to determine that, no one else. Now, what will we do with it is the question. And what will we do as it is the question. That's the call. That's the invitation. This week's homework: what things in my life serve as daily distractions? Daily distractions. What are they? Journal about that. Have a conversation about that. What distracts me? You know, I'm focusing on something and then it's like, boop, there's a squirrel. Why did I even come into the kitchen? I know I came in the kitchen for something.
Really?
I don't remember what I came in the kitchen for.
Really? That's what we doing?
What'd you say, Tracy? I don't know. What did I come in here for? I know I came in here for something. And then we leave the room. We're like, oh, that's right. I came into the kitchen to eat.
Really?
Or something. What can I do this week to reduce the distractions and to reduce my level of multitasking. What can I do to stay centered, to stay focused, and to stay in principle? What practices will assist me in doing each of these things? Then, of course, yes, Tracy, your favorite part. Have a conversation with 3 people. Tres personas. About what, Tracy?
About
what integrity and focus mean to you.
To me?
To you.
All right.
What does integrity and focus mean to you? What is your biggest challenge with staying grounded, staying centered, and staying focused?
Ooh, that F word again.
Yes. What does it mean to be a good person in relation to the above themes? What does it mean for you to be a good person? Keeping in mind, we are not referring to good as a judgment of good or bad. Good simply means someone who is anchored and grounded in the most effective manner. That is how we live, move, and have our beingness in a life-affirming way. So what does it mean to be an effective, a good steward, a life-affirming person? What does that mean as it relates to these above themes? And then lastly, what are a few of the gifts that you know you are here to offer? You're here to offer some gifts. What are they? So we breathe, and today's affirmation, declaration, I will say it first, then together. Divine Spirit is powerfully flowing as me.
Ooh.
Together, if you feel aligned with it. Divine Spirit is powerfully flowing as me. Breathe and allow that in. Breathe and recognize that we are it. Divine Spirit powerfully flowing as each one of us. So we ground and we anchor, knowing that in this moment right here and right now, we choose to keep our minds focused on. We keep our hearts stayed on that which spirit is. And not spirit as some anthropomorphic, separate energy, deity, whatever, but anchored as it is us. There is only what it is as us. As I said in the pre-service meditation, there is no loving God. There is only God as love. There is only spirit as love. And so what it is as love is each one of us. Love made flesh. In the beginning was love, and that love was God and was with God, and that love was made flesh in this moment, this incarnation, as all that is. And the manner in which we love, give, and receive love is how God is loving. So knowing that my expression of love is God as me loving. You and your expression of love is how God is loving. It is how God is living itself in, through, and as each one of us. So we ground in this knowing, ground in this awareness, ground in this gratitude, knowing that as this particular thing called service comes to an end, our lives of service continue forever and ever. This is the truth of our being. This is the truth of spirit. It is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So surrendered in gratitude, because it is done. Together we touch and agree and say, and so it is. Amen. Love you all. Have an amazing, awesome, powerful, and beautiful day.